Hey, I'm Nicole, and I think I finally have the sound figured out.
Yay! Apologies to those who suffered through our other videos with poor sound.
Apparently, there is a setting to turn up the input volume on the mic that I have literally never changed since I got my computer. So,
Note to self and note to all those that are
learning.
doing videos. Yes, learning curve. I'm Lori.
I'm Nicole, as I mentioned.
And we are Oregon Trail Stitching.
Yep. And it's an interesting time of year. We're still kind of clinging on to the last little bit of fall. There's still leaves around everywhere. Still kind of have those fall colors.
We're filming this just before Thanksgiving, but we probably won't post until after
just
Thanksgiving.
After,
yeah. So we have our whips to share with you. We have finish and some thrifting haul to share as well, and our future plans.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What you got?
All right. So we are starting with whips. I have been personally pretty busy over the last little bit, so I am happy to share that I do have some progress on a whip that I've actually been really excited about. And I mean, sometimes that's what it takes, you know, if you're kind of in a rut, start something new, start something that you've been kind of having your brain back of your mind.
What's this one?
So this is Wandering Sheep by Lindy Stitches, who I really need to watch more of her Flosstubes because I feel like she and I are kindred spirits. And this is what I've got going so far. Those of you who follow me on Instagram know that I affectionately refer to this in shorthand as Sheepy. So this is what I've gotten done on Sheepy. And I did take the suggestion that Stephanie put in the pattern to kind of personalize the lettering. So you'll see on the original there's a kind of a monogram
on its behind.
Yep. We sort of have an inside joke in our family that our poodles are like sheeps, especially one of them.
Yes, he follows us.
Follows everybody everywhere. So this is dedicated to our Jerry, our black sheep.
If you get a chance, you might insert a picture of Jerry at the end of the video.
I've got a really nice picture of Jerry.
Yes,
a couple of really nice pictures. So he also used to wander back in the day when he was a younger sheep.
Mm-hmm.
But now he, as the saying suggests on the pattern, he prefers to stick by his dad. And so I thought it was very, very appropriate to kind of
personalize that. And You're enjoying working on it.
It's a really, really great, relaxing, kind of low pressure.
Because there's a lot of block color in there too.
Yes. So
and you're using DMC?
Yes. So the thing about this one is it calls for quite a few thread works. I mostly just have DMC, so I went with most of the DMC conversions. In some cases I did conversions of conversions. So but I think this pattern works out well for that because there's not a whole lot of variation in there. There's lots of solid blocks of color.
Yeah, I like the flowers at the bottom of it.
Yep. So that was actually the part that I started with to kind of give me a nice little border and a reference point for placing the sheep. And I think it's supposed to come out to just over 9x7. So it's supposed to fit really nicely in an 8x10 frame. So I might do that with this one. I might also try it again at some point and maybe change a few things up.
Cool. I have my 3 of my 4 whips here. This is more of a confessional. I have not worked since the last video on my Don't Drop the Potato from Dirty Annie's. This was
so you dropped the potato.
But I still it's still in my whips, and I'm an active whip, and this is how far I've gotten. Again, that's French, or French for Don't Drop the Potato. And
yeah, it's a
part of a tree, and
so it's a goats. It's like a Cajun
reference.
Saying. Yeah,
to don't give
persevere,
up.
Don't give up.
Mm-hmm. Another whip that I've been active on, again, a little bit about my stitching. Primarily it's at night while we're watching TV, or 10 to 15 minutes during a break at work. I just got to my car.
You're also mostly a monogamous stitcher.
For the most
part.
You'll
have a few active whips, but you'll actively working on one at a time.
Up too much. So the one that I've showed before, it's 272 words. It's basically the Gettysburg Address.
It is the Gettysburg Address.
And this is how far I've gotten.
I love
I should have counted how many words I'm at so far.
I love the colors on this one.
It's kind of patriotic-ish, and then kind of old. This is not linen. This is what was it? Toweling. Even weave toweling. So anyway, that's where I am with that one. I really enjoy doing the letters.
And I'm estimating you're probably at about 70 words.
You think so? Okay. Oh, that was very quick. A calculator. I do like doing the letters, and I do believe it set me up for an alphabet sampler for sure. I like when there's repetition with like the T's or the M's or the whatever letter. I'm like, oh, I remember how to do this, and
you get used to the spacing and things like that too.
So I like that.
Cool.
And then I have one other whip to show. During the Acorns and Threads retreat that was in September, that featured.
And that one's sort of been kind of a little bucket list one for you.
Well, I guess so, because we didn't really know much about retreats. Recent.
but like, you hear about it and you're like, oh, that sounds fun. And Acorns and Threads is kind of the destination, I think.
One of them for the Portland area.
Well, and beyond. I mean, there's people that come to these retreats from California and beyond that have heard of Acorns and Threads.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, sort of an institution.
Yep. So the featured designers were Beth Twist and Teresa Kogut, and for the retreat, they both designed similar patterns that could be joined together, and that's what I'm working on. So this is Beth Twist's version. It features Pacific Northwest flora and fauna, and
kitty.
Yeah, and then and we've shown these before, but for those who haven't seen this, and then
she's made a little progress on them.
Yeah, and then Teresa Kogut, she's out of Michigan, and hers features Michigan flora and fauna, including a little raccoon and apple blossoms.
And it's amazing how much crossover there is
mm-hmm.
between, because there's kind of similar regions. I think Michigan maybe gets a little bit colder in the winter.
So maybe, they get a little more snow, I think, than Oregon.
Yeah.
And so this is as far as I've gotten, but I'm really enjoying it. I think I switched the sides that were suggested, the Beth Twist side versus the Teresa Kogut, but I think I kind of messed up my count, and so I'm kind of leaving this open-ended until I start curving down. But you can see that I've got the apple blossoms are the white, and the Oregon grape is represented with those golden berries, And then there's some other berries. But anyway,
and the Oregon grape is our state flower. And
I love these trees. Aren't they fun? Yeah. Anyway, so that's my progress on that.
Very cool. Yeah, those kind of botanical nature ones always look great.
And I mean, not to harp on it too much, but during that retreat at Acorns and Threads, Beth Twist's husband does woodworking, and I know I've showed this before, but I just wanted to highlight how convenient this is. I've seen the maybe cardboard floss hangers, but to have them all lined up like this is super helpful, and so I've really enjoyed that. And then to store it away, I just kind of twist it around, and then also she had provided a bag, and so the bag keeps it nice and neat inside my project bag. So that's how I do it, and I really appreciate that. And also a shout out to the Acorn and Threads table that I was at too. So
I like how that wood floss organizer kind of echoes the kind of the theme of the project. Very natural.
Mm-hmm. And it has the features. It has some wood burning and stuff on
animals.
It there. Yeah. I believe that's how I want to do my floss in the future. Depending on how many colors are involved. I know that there's
because usually you've been just pulling them off the skeins, right?
I have been. That's how I've been doing it. I don't wind my floss. You do.
I bobbinate.
You bobbinate. I keep my as long as I could possibly keep it on. I keep the DMC that I'm using. I keep the wrappers on, so and just pull from the end. So anyway, I do prefer that. That's really nice because I can switch colors real easily.
Yeah, my because bobbinating is also how I organize my thread for storing. It just makes sense to just kind of do it all at once, and then it's ready to rock.
Okay.
All right. Time for my finish.
Yes, show your finish.
All right. So this is one that I want to say I started.
Get a close up at that.
This is a pattern I started during COVID, maybe. It was a kit. It's a dimensions kit. And decided, now that I've got a little bit more cross-stitching experience under my belt, I could probably knock this out pretty quickly. And so I did, and mostly successfully. I think I miscounted one side, but that's okay. And I decided I wanted to make this one a pillow. So we've got the kind of fun swirlies on this side that kind of pull the blue out, and then
that's a fun
little fun back,
colorful.
Yep, and stuffed it myself. Stitched up that opening. It was
more practice.
Yep. So I am not very accomplished at hand sewing at all. So that was my challenge, was stitching up that opening.
Kind of like cross stitching.
Kinda. And I think cross stitching has gotten me more comfortable with needling and.
No, you did a good job.
Yep. I used a clear thread, which I'm not sure how often I want to do that, because the clear thread really acts a lot like fishing line, so it's a little bit more.
It sticks to itself a little bit.
Sticks to itself, doesn't bend very nicely, but it's also nearly invisible. So for something like this, where it would have been really hard to pick one thread color to go with it, clear worked out.
Oh, that's nice.
Yep.
Good job.
I'm happy with that one.
Cool.
And it frees up a project bag for something else.
Should we do our thrifty haul? Or
yeah. Haul? Okay. So
who doesn't like to shop and search?
And sometimes they just kind of find you. You want to go first? Sure. Since I just talked about my finish.
Sure. Let's see. I apologize. I'm unable to give credit where credit's due on this one. I was watching Flosstube over the last month or so, and I saw a design on somebody's channel. I gotta keep a notebook or something, and I was like, oh, I love that. And so immediately.
Didn't you get a notebook at the?
Oh yeah. You got to remember that you have it.
Yeah.
But maybe I need to set it next to the TV. But anyway,
that's the first step, is setting it next to where you're going to use it.
For those who are familiar with the 70s,
only by association.
This one is wonderful. I mean, I think so.
I love it.
That 70s kitchen. Look at the detail in those bowls, and the mushrooms and the flowers and stuff like that.
Well,
how cool is that?
Yeah.
And this is by who is this? By Tiny Modernist. Yeah. So if there's anybody, you're welcome. For those who want to reach out and get this pattern from Tiny Modernist, also.
Yeah.
And I thank the person who had it on their Flosstube recently. So.
Yeah. If you're a child of the 70s, or a grandchild of, who grew up in the time capsule kitchen. I still feel very drawn to that color palette and those iconic designs. Even today, it actually,
all the colors, the olive,
the avocado, and the
yeah.
harvest gold,
mm-hmm.
And that brown, and that orange, and it actually informs a lot of my decor choices for my own apartment. So, it's amazing what will kind of stick with you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Remind you of grandma, or
yes,
growing up, for those of us that are older.
Yeah.
Do you want me to just continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
Also recently, another Flosstuber highlighted some fairly inexpensive Christmas books that are out there. I mean, literally, whatever your source is, whether it's Amazon or eBay, for less than $5, sometimes free shipping. You can get some cool Christmas designs. A book, and this is I'm not sure what year this is.
I think the label on the back said 97.
Yep, 1997. And there's some just showing it in decor. It's hard to see, but this is music notes.
What?
That are cross-stitched.
What?
Yeah, yes, I know. That'll probably get your attention. But the book is nicely set up and shows the projects, and then has the patterns in the back. So this one is called All Through the House. And so it was designed to kind of, as we do today, bring cross-stitch into our decor. Yeah. So for Christmas.
Well, and I mean, that's... that aesthetic is really kind of core to my own childhood. So...
Yeah, and again, less than $5 and free shipping. So they're still out there. I saw it's not rare to find.
Mm-hmm. It's not one of those super long out of print.
Yeah. Or even just looking at your thrift stores and garage sales. This is another one. 520 Christmas designs now. Granted, not
probably little motifs and things like that.
Not all of them appeal to me. Or as our tastes change. Yeah.
Every star counts.
Yeah. So, oh gosh, there's patterns all over. I'm trying to find a page to share that doesn't have all that.
Oh, I saw like a... there's probably like a nutcracker thing or something in there.
Here's a page with some examples. So...
cool.
But it's the small motifs. Again, 520 designs.
And the ideas for finishes on those.
And this one... who did this one? Sam Hawkins. So maybe that same person has done other themes. One of the last things I got,
which will actually segue really nicely into mine.
And I have not bought a cross stitch magazine before, so This one is the 2024 Christmas cross stitch. I happen to be ordering off a website that featured this or suggested this, and I was like, well, okay, since it's, I'll go ahead and pick up the magazine. I have looked in my local grocery stores and Walmart and stuff like that, and I don't see cross stitch. I see quilting, but I haven't seen cross stitch.
I didn't know that they still published cross stitch magazines.
Apparently so. And so I'm enjoying looking at that, and it has I can't pick out anything in particular, but even gift tags,
Is that some plastic canvas?
Some quick wins.
Is that plastic canvas, and is that a sugar baby?
That is they're just, it could be perforated paper too.
Show that cat off again. That's not the cat.
That's not the cat.
That's not the cat.
The cat? Oh, you like the white cat.
I had a white cat.
Anyway, some fun quick wins, and then there's some more, as you saw on the top here, a little more detailed, festive. So
that
is
a sugar baby.
We keep finding stuff. There is a white cat there
with a fluffy little tail.
Anyway.
Do I need to insert a picture of Shugbug?
So I'll enjoy looking at that magazine. And what do you have for your haul?
Well, interestingly enough, I also have magazines. So I did a little thrifting, and
where at?
We're lucky to have a couple of thrift stores here. I got actually a nice little stack of magazines at the Habitat for Humanity Restore. So if you've heard of the Habitat for Humanity Restore, you might think of it as
renovation stuff,
yes,
light fixtures.
And our store does have a side that has like salvaged, fixtures, doors, windows, paint, things like that. But it has another side that's like your average thrift store. They don't have clothes. They don't accept clothes for donations, but they have pretty much everything else. Housewares. I think I texted Mom a picture a couple days ago of 3 totes of fabric that they have. But they had some cool stuff. I picked up a decent amount of the fusible interfacing.
That's nice to put on the back of your work, to
pillows or whatever you're, if you're making something kind of 3-dimensional, helps it kind of stabilize. 50 cents. So they had,
be on the lookout for those bargains, and it's worth a look, for our crafting supplies.
Yeah.
Those who have destashed or have passed on, keep the craft alive.
Yep. And I think that's the case for a lot of stuff that has shown up there, is people have, offloaded estate sale things, or there were a couple of like vintage sewing patterns there that I picked up. They might make some cool decor. It's that stretch and sew. So it's apparently, I looked into this. It's a method for sewing. Anybody out there who's ever tried to sew knit fabric?
I stick to cotton.
Stretchy knits. Like most of the clothing that you buy these days. If you're trying to fix something, or if you want to make your own. It's a lady, I feel like, I don't know if she's still with us, but based out of Eugene, Oregon, pioneered a method called stretch and sew. Apparently she used to have a TV show, like a public television show.
I don't recall.
She had a whole line of patterns. So I picked up a couple of those patterns because they were just so kind of
quirky,
kind of fun to look at. There is a pattern for a lady's girdle. Men's swim trunks that looked very 60s. Yeah, so I thought those were kind of fun. A little snapshot in time. I also picked up a few magazines. These are from probably the heyday of cross-stitch magazines. We're going back to the early to mid 90s.
1993.
Yep. So we baked recently.
That's your bookmark.
Yeah. So I don't have to bore you with. Yeah. We're maintaining the innocence of the person who donated this fine piece of. So this is a Halloween issue from 1993. And these magazines are really cool. As you know, if you've ever leafed through one, they come with like full-size patterns.
It's just one that you caught your eye.
So this is one that kind of caught my eye. Look at those little mice. Aren't they cute?
Look at her dress.
Yeah. And the cheese. So this shows them kind of all together in a frame, and then also as little ornaments. So there's, again, little ways that you can combine or break apart patterns to suit what you want to do. So this particular issue is kind of a celebrate Halloween, Thanksgiving, look ahead to Christmas, which this time of year is what we do. It's a very transitional time. Here's another one from October of 96.
Spectacular designs.
Yeah, so this one I think is a little bit more heavy on the Halloween. Ooh.
What's that?
Antique needlework tools. So it's like a little sampler. And that's one that's got a full-size pattern in here. Little kitchen delights. So it's not just full of Halloween stuff. It's ideas for things that might make some good gifts. Or just kind of around the house, and you're lots of people kind of hibernate this time of year when it gets cold and you're inside doing more crafts. This one's really appropriate for Thanksgiving.
Of course, we're going to post this after Thanksgiving, but kind of stretch it out.
Yeah. And I feel like Thanksgiving never quite gets its time in the spotlight, because it's like lots of people jump from Halloween to Christmas.
And what year is that one?
This one is October of 97, so the next year. Same magazine, Better Homes and Gardens, publication called Cross Stitch and Needlework. And then getting into Christmas, picked up a couple Christmas ones. It's funny how appropriate all of these were for the season, and they all showed up at the thrift store at the same time. So a fun little... I think this is also 97, 96, something like that. It's advertising a Christmas plate. So fun little decoration ideas. Here's kind of a old-fashioned Santa. Look at that wrinkly little bear. He wrinkles. So that one might be fun if you like animals. Here's another 96. So that other one was probably 97. Little scene, little vintage Christmas sleigh ride scene. Then I picked up this one too.
It almost looks like a finished project when you picked it up.
So this one is just a little pamphlet called Count Your Stitches.
Who does that?
I'm not sure. Copyright is 1975 Zims.
Zim's like
Zim's
out of Salt Lake City.
Yep. Says the authors were inspired by the figures in Zim's dip and drape instruction books. So another kind of like fancy technique fabric thing. And translating those fabric designs into cross stitch.
Oh.
And it is a true how-to. Starts you if you have never cross-stitched before. Gets you started on terminology, techniques, the kind of fabric to get.
Back in the 70s.
Yeah. So here's some cute little bookends. Bedtime boy and bedtime girl. Ideas for finishing. So if you're doing like a frame. And everything's got photos. Little just all these
skip by the pattern parts. So I'm sure this is out of print, obviously, but
yeah. And I mean, I'm sure you can find it on eBay or whatnot. This page I thought was really cool. So we talk a lot about doing your own thing. So this is using cross stitch. This page right here talks about how to use waste canvas. Mm-hmm. So if you're sewing on something that is not like an even weave, so if you're wanting to personalize like a t-shirt or jeans or something, the waste canvas kind of helps stabilize your work, keeps your stitches straight. And this shows how to do it. You can make like a patch or and then this is a cross stitch pattern that was translated to a
latch rug.
Yep, hooked rug on the rug canvas. So that's fun. All the crafts kind of there's a lot of crossover that you can do. Those like even those little perler beads, those melty beads, those patterns
for like kiddos
can make fun little cross stitches. So it's kind of fun to think outside the box. And
you got a little bit of Christmas stuff
to
kind of ease us in a little bit.
Yeah, so this isn't strictly cross stitch at all. So one of my other hobbies is music. So these kind of caught my eye at a different thrift store, People Helping People. It's regional to Eastern Oregon. And that's another kind of fun, you go there and you're never quite sure what you're going to find, but you can usually find something cool. So, Christmas carols. Apparently, in a bygone era, different companies or newspapers would print carol books as giveaways. Back when caroling was a thing. This one is absolutely beautifully illustrated. So, they are authentic 19th century drawings is what the book says. This one I thought was kind of fun, sort of a frontier theme. So back in frontier days, a popular Christmas celebration was just discharging firearms. You go outside to celebrate Christmas and you shoot your guns.
I think of was it New Year's? I didn't think of Christmas that way.
Yeah. Well, even around here, people I think still like to do that. And then these Christmas carol books were printed as inserts in the Statesman Journal, which is the newspaper out of Salem, somehow made it.
Oregon.
Yep. So made it all the way east here. This one is from '88.
If you can give me just a quick flash and what's in there.
So it has music and it's got advertising too. So obviously a sort of a benefit for the newspaper because it's an opportunity to sell ads.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure that these were also, in addition to being inserted in the newspaper, probably also given out. So, different, yeah. So here's one that's kind of showing the cutting edge technology of the day.
Oh, what's that? Oh, the tapes.
Tape recorder and a little wireless radio. Still has the music.
Mm-hmm.
This one is the oldest one I have. It's from 1980. Love the art on this one. This one has a little bit less advertising and more music. And then this one is from 82. And I love the little back page ad.
I wonder how people did that. If they just got a group together and pulled their insert from the newspaper and went caroling or something.
Yeah.
I mean, if they weren't, with it coming through the paper and not maybe from an organization or something.
Yeah, just kind of form your own little group, or maybe you, had a group like a choir or somebody, a group of friends or whatever, that anticipated this coming out every year. So you'd pull the section when it came and go out and sing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have one last thing that
so as a musician that really appealed to me, because I'm very much I'm actually performing in the orchestra for a local production of The Messiah, which is the first time that we've brought it back since before COVID. So Christmas music has very much been on the mind lately.
Very festive. Having it play in the background as you stitch. Very festive too.
Oh, I turn it on at work just to, focus.
Mm-hmm. We had mentioned before in our thrifting how you make the
yes,
the needle minders
mm-hmm.
out of actually anything, buttons or where you remove the sticky out part of the button. Recently where was I? I think I had just gotten home from work, and did I call you or you called me? It was when I was on the phone with Mom. And out of the blue, she asks me, how do you remove the pins from the back of the... And I kind of knew what she was going for. So recently we took a little trip down to some of the national parks in Utah. And when we were in the gift shop, I was like, oh, what do I want? I don't want a t-shirt or a hat. Or so I, knowing that Nicole, that we know how to take off the, with a tool, with a wire cutter, take off the pin part, and then we can turn it into a needle minder.
And a lot of times on these trips you bring your sewing with you, so it's kind of a fun reminder of trips you've been on and mm-hmm. trips that you might take again.
So we had mentioned it, but we just kind of have it to show here too. The
one thing that you don't have is the tool.
The tool. I think I have something, but
so,
I don't have it shown here.
What I like to use, so as you can see, these pins come pokey. They come pokey. And so you got to remove that before you stick that magnet on there. What I like to use is the They have them at Walmart and I believe also at Harbor Freight.
Okay. I'm sure Home Depot and Lowe's and things like that too, but some other options.
So it's the wire cutter that you can really get down flat.
So it's not a wire cutter like this, but it's kind of offset at an angle.
I think the one at Walmart's called a micro cutter.
Okay.
But it looks like a set of like diagonal cutting pliers.
Okay.
And you just cut as flush as you possibly can. With some of the cheaper pins, you might even be able to bend the pin with like regular pliers, just kind of bend it back and forth until it breaks.
Mm-hmm. And then this has been used a few times, but
so once you take the pin off, sometimes you won't cut as close as you want, so you can use glue and just put like a little blob of glue right at the base, just to kind of give that a little bit of a cushion, a little buffer. And then I also like to make sure to position my magnet as close as I can to that to kind of
magnet. So at Harbor Freight, a lot of people have Harbor Freight nearby, but it looks like this. It's only a couple bucks. I'm like less than $3.
This is I started getting my magnets here because it's the best price I've seen on these magnets.
And the reason why it says danger, in case you're kind of wondering, it says danger all over it. It's because we don't want kids to swallow them.
Very strong magnets.
And it says keep away from children.
Yeah, and we're not going to go into the details as to why. Hey, Troop.
Anyway,
but
so in the container.
Yep. So
you want to show how small they are?
So, you want to keep these away from kids, dogs, etc. They are literally...
This is like 8 of them?
They are approximately the size of like an earring. And there are 10 in that particular tube. You need 2 to make a needle minder because they stick together.
So one will be glued
onto
glue one to here.
Yep.
And the other one goes on the other side of the fabric when you're using it.
Yep.
So even if it wasn't a pin, they had little in the gift shop. Referring back to the gift shop of the National Park.
Those are cool.
They had little keychain thing with these
little charms.
So it could be a zipper pull. It actually literally had this many on there. A zipper pull, or
that
it
looks
turned
like
into
it's
a needle minder too.
Made to be like zipper pulls and stuff.
Yeah, so it was just another way to
have a souvenir that's useful. You know, it's not gathering dust. I probably won't
wear the pin, but I certainly would use it as a needle binder. So
yeah.
Anyway.
Yep, and then you're reminded of it whenever you're stitching.
Especially when it has a little picture or something on it. So.
That Angel's Landing one is really cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of a fun little graphic one.
Yeah, we hiked Angel's Landing. I didn't know how far I'd get, but we got all the way to the top. So
cool.
Quite satisfying to get that far. So anyway, well, future plans. We did see
getting through the week.
Well, get through the holiday season. So you'll be seeing this after Thanksgiving, I'm sure. But our future plans, we did see our first retreat that we went to was Stitching by the River.
Stitching on the River.
Hosted and put on by Maggie's on Main out of Emmett, Idaho. And we really enjoyed it. That was a perfect introduction to retreats for us.
Yep, it was
we got to go together.
Very low key.
It was their first retreat as well, putting it on, and we had 100 people.
Everybody there was super supportive too of the retreat organizers, of each other.
Yeah.
There was a huge range of like people who had been doing retreats for years, decades, and people who had just started cross stitching, and in that room it didn't matter. Yeah. And I think that's the theme with most retreats too. I'm kind of taking by the Flosstube recaps that we see.
But yeah, we loved it so much. We want to go again next year. And they did announce already that Stitchin' on the River has been scheduled. This year it was in July. In 2025, it will be in August. So,
yep. I believe first weekend in August.
Oh, can we do a shout out to Table 10?
Hi!
Yes, shout out to Table. We loved our table. They were awesome.
We had an awesome table.
And anyway, yeah, so that's future plans. What other future plans do we have?
Getting through the year.
Well, another future plan is our next video. We're going to be heavy on Christmas. So
as probably everybody will be.
Yes. So we'll show our haul and our whips. I am
hoping to start something seasonal. I've got peppermint bark. I think that's the one I'm going to start next and kind of alternate with sheepy.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a good plan.
Sounds like because that one should be pretty quick and easy. I actually spent the extra couple cents and got the fancy DMC, the satin one. I thought that would be fun for the peppermint, give it a little bit of shine.
And the pattern you're talking about was a Dirty Annie's pattern, peppermint bark.
I believe so.
Dirty Annie's. So look that up.
Yeah, and I believe it's a dachshund that's on there. So
I'm almost positive it is.
Yeah. So and I'm already thinking of fun ways to finish that. This is the time of year. Again, planning ahead. Those after Christmas sales. Sometimes those before Christmas sales. Those trims. Those gift trims, those sewing trims. Dollar Tree has little pom-poms, like pom-pom trim. So
interesting. You'll have to remember to show that on the next video.
Thinking of different ways to finish those up.
Well, we wish everyone a happy holiday season. As we get into it, some people have friends and family to be with, and some may be a little challenged in that area. Just know that we're thinking about you. We totally understand those big holiday celebrations. We've been part of those, and we've also been where things are thin. So just blessings to all of you, and we'll see you on our next video.
Yeah.
Christmas video. All right. Take care. Happy
Bye.
stitching.